Members of the state's congressional delegation and the public hosted a public sit-in at the Providence Public Safety complex today.
The event was aimed at reducing gun violence and continuing the discussion that took place during last week's 26-hour sit-in on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. Eyewitness News reporter Perry Russum was there and is live in our control room tonight now with more.
The sit-ins were happening all across the country today, a national day of action after last week's protests on the House floor.
June 8, 2016.
The Democratic congressional call for gun reform started in D.C., now echoing in Providence.
The people to blame are the members of Congress who won't support gun safety legislation.
Congressman David Cicilline and Jim Langevin set up the latest sit-in at the Providence Public Safety complex. They say they want a vote on two specific pieces of legislation. The first would keep those on the terrorist watch list from getting a gun. The second would require background checks when someone buys a firearm at a gun show.
I know that these two bills are not going to solve every incidence of gun violence, but it's going to have an impact. It's going to do something.
More than 100 people were there, including Providence Public Safety Commissioner Stephen Perry.
It'll take assault weapons off the streets of Providence. They don't belong on the streets of America. They belong on the battlefield. So that in itself would be helpful.
You have an election coming up. Speaker Ryan has called all this political posturing. What do you say to those who say, look, they're only doing this because they have an election coming up and they want to stay in?
Well, I've worked on responsible gun safety legislation from the time I was in the state legislature to the time I was mayor as a founding member of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. I've authored a number of bills and co-sponsored a number of bills since I got to Congress. So this is an issue I've worked on a lot.
Still no scheduled vote on those two pieces of legislation. Both congressmen are urging voters to give House Speaker Paul Ryan a phone call to voice their concerns. I'm Perry Russum, Eyewitness News.